Some prisons rehabilitate, others destroy. Behind concrete walls and steel bars lie places where violence is routine, hope is rare, and survival is a daily battle. These are the 10 most brutal prisons on Earth, where overcrowding breeds chaos, where guards are feared more than inmates, and where freedom isn't just lost, it's erased. Let's step inside the darkest corners of incarceration. 10. San Quentin State Prison, USA. Located in California, San Quentin is one of the oldest prisons in the United States. It houses death row inmates and has a long history of riots, gang violence, and executions. The prison is infamous for its racial tensions and overcrowded conditions. Inmates have described it as a pressure cooker. Despite attempts at reform, San Quentin remains a symbol of America's harshest justice. Here, rehabilitation is a whisper, and survival is loud. The prison's architecture is outdated, cells are cramped, and the yard is divided by race and gang affiliation. Even programs meant to help, like education or therapy, are overshadowed by fear. San Quentin isn't just a prison, it's a battlefield. 9. Bang Kwang Central Prison, Thailand. Nicknamed the Bangkok Hilton, Bang Kwang is notorious for its extreme conditions. Inmates are shackled for the first 3 months. Cells are overcrowded, food is minimal, and medical care is scarce. Executions are carried out by lethal injection, but the fear begins long before that. Foreigners caught with drugs often end up here, and once inside, time moves slowly, and pain moves fast. The prison operates on a rigid schedule. Meals are rice and soup, often spoiled, and the heat is unbearable. Bang Kwang isn't just harsh, it's suffocating. 8. La Sabaneta Prison, Venezuela. La Sabaneta was once described as hell on earth. Before its closure in 2013, it housed over 3,700 inmates. In a space built for 700, riots were frequent, weapons were homemade, and guards were outnumbered. In 1 year alone, over 100 inmates were killed. Diseases spread unchecked, and corruption ran deep. La Sabaneta wasn't just brutal, it was lawless. Gang leaders ran entire wings, bribes determined survival, and medical care? Non-existent. It wasn't a prison, it was a war zone. 7. Gitarama Prison, Rwanda. Originally built for 400 inmates, Gitarama has held over 6,000. Inmates sleep standing up, they fight for space, and many die from gangrene, caused by untreated wounds and infections. Food is scarce, water is worse, and the smell, unforgettable. Gitarama isn't just overcrowded, it's collapsing. And inside, humanity is tested daily. The prison became infamous after the Rwandan genocide. Thousands were detained without trial, and the infrastructure couldn't cope. Gitarama is a monument to neglect and a warning to the world. 6. Diyarbakır Prison, Turkey. During the 1980s, Diyarbakır became infamous for its treatment of political prisoners. Torture was routine. Sleep deprivation, electric shocks, forced confessions. Inmates were stripped of identity, language, and dignity. Even today, its legacy haunts Turkey's prison system. Because some walls don't just hold bodies, they hold trauma. Prisoners were forced to sing national anthems while being beaten. Some were denied food for days. Others were buried alive as punishment. Diyarbakır wasn't just brutal, it was systematic cruelty. 5. Black Dolphin Prison, Russia. Located near the Kazakhstan border, Black Dolphin is Russia's most secure prison. Inmates, all serving life sentences, are blindfolded during transfers. They're forced to stand for 16 hours a day. Cells are behind multiple steel doors, and escape is impossible. Guards check every 15 minutes, and prisoners are referred to by number, not name. Black Dolphin isn't just secure, it's psychological warfare. The prison houses murderers, cannibals, and terrorists. Each cell has bars within bars, and inmates must ask permission to sit. It's not just confinement, it's control. 4. Al-Hair Prison, Saudi Arabia. Al-Hair is the largest prison in Saudi Arabia. It holds political dissidents, activists, and alleged terrorists. Reports of torture, solitary confinement, and forced confessions are widespread. Family visits are restricted, legal representation is limited, and transparency is non-existent. Inside, silence is enforced, and fear is policy. Inmates have described being held in darkness for weeks. Some were denied medication, others were interrogated for hours without rest. Al-Ha'ir isn't just a prison, it's a tool of suppression. 3. Tadmur Prison, Syria. Before its destruction in 2015, Tadmur was one of the most feared prisons in the Middle East. Known for its brutal torture methods, it housed political prisoners under the Assad regime. Executions were public, torture was theatrical, and survival was rare. In 1980, hundreds of inmates were massacred in a single night. Tadmur wasn't just a prison, it was a statement of absolute control. Cells were underground, beatings were daily, and screams echoed through the corridors. Tadmur was a place where hope went to die. 2. Camp 22, North Korea. Also known as Horyong Concentration Camp, Camp 22 is a political prison in North Korea. It's hidden from maps, surrounded by mountains, and sealed from the world. Inmates include entire families, punished for thought crimes. Torture, starvation, and forced labor are routine. Children are born into captivity and die without names. Camp 22 isn't just brutal, it's dystopian. Prisoners mine coal, build weapons, and live in constant fear. Escape is impossible, and the outside world doesn't even know they exist. ADX Florence, USA. Known as the Alcatraz of the Rockies, ADX Florence is the most secure prison in America. It houses terrorists, serial killers, and gang leaders. Inmates spend 23 hours a day in solitary confinement. Cells are soundproof, windows are slits, and human contact is minimal. Psychologists call it clean torture, because the walls don't bleed, but minds do. ADX isn't just a prison, it's a box, designed to erase. Some inmates haven't touched another human in years. Mental illness is rampant, and appeals are rare. ADX is where silence becomes punishment. Prisons are meant to hold, to protect, to rehabilitate. But these 10, they punish, they isolate, they erase. Inside these walls, time distorts, pain multiplies, and humanity is tested. Because when the system breaks, it doesn't just trap bodies, it traps souls. These 10 prisons aren't just brutal, they're warnings of what happens when justice turns into vengeance and when confinement becomes cruelty.